a little bit. We have a new superintendent. We have a new assistant superintendent of finance, I guess, which is now what we're calling the CFO. Um, but we're all in the same boat, and we all need to row the same way. I think in the end, we all want the same outcome. What is best for our students? I've spoken with tons of educators over the past few months that some of them feel, I don't know how to put it exactly. They're afraid to speak up. I don't know if it's, they think there'd be retribution or something like that, but we can't have that. We can't have an atmosphere of fear. Anybody should be able to say anything they want. At the last school committee meeting, uh, you know, a school committee member tried to have a resident removed from the meeting just for the public speaking part. Came in, he had his 3 minutes, uh, and he got through about a minute of it, and was asked to leave. We can't have that. We really, communication is where it starts, and I am open. I have been knocking on doors for a few months now. I don't know, God, thousands probably. And I thank the people that have been willing to open their door and have conversations with me about this, about education, about our city. It shows me, it kind of gives me a little lift because I see it. People are engaged, people are seeing what's going on, and people do want to be involved. People do want what's best for our children. They want the best education possible. You think about it. We're pretty much at rock bottom. Deficit. We can't forget also that this school committee, the one currently sitting, I think it was maybe 4 months ago. Up until then, the state was watching over us as well. They didn't come in and take us over, but they were watching over our shoulder. So they were kind of guiding us as well. We were pretty close, I think, to having them come in and say, "Hey, we're going to take this over." Luckily, that did not happen. But we need to get as much information out to the parents. Think about Brockton. Brockton is a wonderfully diverse community. Oh my God, it's beautiful. And I think we underutilize it sometimes. We need to get as much information out in as many languages as needed. We need to make parents, guardians feel comfortable about coming to schools with problems. And that if I'm a parent and I come to the school with a problem, that I know that they're going to work with me, or my representative will work with me, my school committee member, or city councilor, anybody. Everybody needs to feel that level of comfort that if there's an issue with their child's education, they are going to be heard, and that problem will be resolved to the best of our abilities. And I don't think that's happening right now.
Thank you, Matt. That was very inspirational and right from the heart, and I really appreciate that that approach and that mindset you have towards being a part of the school committee and as a candidate. And I strongly think you're the right man for the job in Ward 3.
Thank you,
Maria. Back to you.
So what do I bring? I bring passion for transparent, accountable leadership. I bring a vision for equity and inclusion in every classroom. So if elected, I'm not just a board member. I'm an advocate for the students and the families and the communities. And I too am frustrated. And during my door knocking and sitting down with people, I have heard, teachers, people in leadership saying that they cannot speak. There's something wrong, and they cannot speak because they are afraid of losing their job. So, but if we are cultivating that kind of culture in the system, then student is not at the center. Student outcome is not at the center. Because when you micromanage people to that point and you make them feel not valued threatened, fearful, how well do you think that teacher is going to teach your child? Huh? So if there's resources lacking, shh, don't say nothing. You know, nobody should be afraid of losing their job for coming and speaking or even coming with a solution to what the problem is, right? Because
Yes.
we can't solve everybody's problem. The goal is meant, the board is meant to um, have goals and guardrails and also strategic plans in place that are measurable and that we can come back and evaluate more often than just once a year or once every 6 months. Showing somebody a bar graph and telling them 99% of the students there are there to learn, they're doing great. How? How? When? How did you measure that? When did it start? When did it end? Who are these students? So those questions are never asked. So that report to me does not mean anything. So getting on the board, you gonna come and tell me this. I want to know, where are the results coming from? Where's the data? Where's the testing? You know, what about the students? How do they feel? Do they feel they're learning? What about the parents? Are the parents happy with the children's education? Do the parents have access to the school? Can they come in and visit, the classroom? Can they take a little mini tour, certain days, non-disruptive tours, and see how their students are doing? Because I feel that when students know that their parents are involved, even if it's just for a little bit of time, they're like, wow, my parents were here. They really care, you know? So you have that wraparound service, you know? And it's also about getting um, our partners on board to help us, you know? So it's, you know, I I met Matt again. I knew him since we came to this country and our paths crossed. And once we sat down and we talked, it's like, wow, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And he's like, yeah, you're exactly what I'm looking for too. And I'm like, wow, we can do this. Even if we disagree on some stuff, we are mature enough and civil enough that we can put our issues on the table and say, okay, how can we work this? What can we do? Because at the end of the day, it's not about me and Matt. It's about the students. It's not about my personal problem with my child in the school. It's about all the children in the school.
You're reading my mind because that's going into the next question. So, working together, how many members in the school committee? It's 7, right?
7
Se-
and the chair,
and
who
the
would
chair.
be the mayor.
So, starting with Matt, what is your plan and your agenda to create synergy within the group of 7 to 8 people? What's your approach to helping? You guys are not going to agree on everything, but what's your agenda and your plan to create synergy within the group of school committee members?
Well, I think, as with anything, like, again, communication, but also respect. The voters are the ones that elect the school committee, the city council, the mayor. All these, they're elected positions. So you have to have that respect for each other, but an open line of communication. Somebody, if I am lucky enough to be elected, this would be my first term. As I said, I go to all these meetings. There might be somebody that has different background, different knowledge than I do. So if somebody, a resident of Ward 3, calls me up with a problem, and I might not have the best answer, I might have a question, I'm not afraid to ask anybody. I'm not afraid to call up Maria or call up anybody on the committee, in the administration, until they get an answer, until we can get a solid plan in place, a solid answer to alleviate whatever fears or whatever concerns a parent might come to us with. And I want to say one other thing as well. A lot of people say, we're knocking on doors. Oh, my kids aren't in schools anymore. But that's not. I understand how their thinking is. I don't have kids in school, so it really doesn't affect me. but it does. And that's why we also have to have good relationships with our city council counterparts. We're in the middle of now, the schools are in the middle right now of a feasibility study for the high school. It was accepted. We're either going to come up, well, they have to come up with 3 plans, either build a new Brockton High School, fully renovate the one that we have, or just bring it up to code. It's been going on for months now. I sit in on every meeting, usually by Zoom, that I can. It's probably going to be about another 14 months, I think, of the studies, and they have to come forth with the 3 plans. I would say it's probably going to go with the middle one, the full renovation. That is going to come down on the taxpayers of Brockton. The Massachusetts School Building Authority will pay somewhere around 70%, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But the taxpayers are going to have to decide. It's going to be it will be on the ballot probably in 2 years, whether or not we want taxes to go up for 25, 30 years, whatever that is, to pay for this. And we need people sitting on the committee who, again, will watch every penny and ensure that every penny is spent wisely. I'm not here patting myself on the back, but I sat on the Huntington School Roof Replacement Committee as a resident. I was the resident member. And it's like a nothing. You have the meetings and the roof was done, but I took it seriously. I was getting the same information that everybody else was getting, all the officials. And we got down to what would have been the last meeting, which was really just a payment of bills. And when I received my packet, I looked at it, and within 2 minutes, I said, well, geez, the bill that they submitted isn't for the job that they did. So when we got into the meeting, there was a motion made to approve the payment, then a second. And I said, I'm just a citizen. Maybe I'm off here. Maybe it was a clerical error and you guys have the right information. But my packet says that this is for a job out in another school district. I said, and I checked. I did my research. I said, the company actually did do a job out there. I said, but, they submitted the bill to us. Little things like that. It's not so little. When you look at it and it's a bill for a job that was done in another school district and it was this close to being paid. The devil's in the details. You have to pay attention to absolutely everything.
Thank you. And Maria, what's your plan? I'm going to repeat the question. What's your plan to create synergy within the group of 7 to 8 individuals that are going to make decisions for the school committee?
My plan, I hope Matt gets in, because I think it would be great for the board. Okay. Because you have people that, you don't have to like each other, but we have to work together. So if the relationship on the board is broken, it's not going to work. And this is going to be reflected in our students. Okay. If you read any board book, people that have been doing this for 30 years, they will tell you that if the relationship on the board is one of, with people are fighting all the time, it has become adult centered. It's not going to work. Nothing's going to get done. So we need new leadership on the board, so we can work together, and also to pass that down to the administrative and the tactile team, and that's why mending these relationships and fixing these relationships is very important, because in order to get things done, you have to get that relationship. We have to build it. We have to give teachers a voice. We have to value the paraprofessionals that do the work that they do. We have to value parents. We have to work with administration, because it's not my board. It's our board.
Thank you for sharing that, guys.
Mhm.
That was very, very understanding and a good explanation of what creating synergy is all about. Um, however, I was doing some research about the school committee, and I found out that there's no strategic plan in the city of Brockton. Can you guys start with Matt first? Can you guys explain to me what the strategic plan
Well,
is and how come the city of Brockton doesn't have one right now?
I think there is. It's just it's moved. The guidelines, just the goalposts, so to speak. It's Sunday. There's football on somewhere, I think. The goalposts just keep getting moved. When I was talking about that 2020 DESI review, they come in, they do the review, and then that sets the strategic plan. We set it around that. They did set a strategic plan then. I believe it's a 5-year plan.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the deficit hit 2 years into the plan. So then it's okay. Well, we got to come up with a new strategic plan.
Mhm.
And we forget sometimes, I think, or they want people to forget what that first strategic plan was. We'll just move on. We can add, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but we just have to be open about it. If here we got into that financial crisis, obviously that had to be taken care of, but we need to go back and look and say, okay, we were 2 years into this strategic plan, and then we have a financial meltdown. What went wrong with the strategic plan that we had in place that led us to the deficit, or led to poor test scores, or led to graduation rates dropping, or led to pick anything out of it. It's not like I said, it's not a bad thing to have to change plans, recourse. You don't want to just go on with a plan, and if it's failing, continue down the path and just keep shoveling coal on the fire, hoping that it will get better. But you have to admit that, okay, we have this strategic plan and it doesn't seem like it's working, so we're going to change it. Again, communication, community input, as many voices, and they put surveys out. I think Maria was kind of mentioning the data. Okay, we can put surveys out, but who are the ones answering? Because there are parents, there are a ton of parents unbelievably engaged, always show up to different events at the schools, or that they're thoroughly engaged in their children's education. But it's the ones that might be working 2 or 3 jobs, that don't get home until 6 o'clock at night.
Yes.
That through no fault of their own,
Mhm.
just to survive,
Yes.
they don't have as much time as they might like in their children's life, in their children's education, because they have to put food on the table. They have to have, a roof over their head.
Mhm.
So those are the ones that we should also be reaching out to, finding out how we can help them, but also getting information from them and saying, okay, what can we do differently for you? They say, 99% of the kids are great kids. They're there for the right reasons and everything. But it's that 1% that there's a way to help every student. I come from, as far as education, I ran after school programs in Stoughton and Norwood. And I always said I would be there. I didn't have to be outside every day, but I would be outside giving every kid a high five. And I could tell which kid had a bad day at school, and maybe something's going on at home, and get that personal connection with the parent when they came for pickup, or whoever was picking that child up that day, and say, hey, is everything okay in school, or maybe something at home? Maybe he's just having a bad day, but there's something there. And there are far too many students that can get lost quickly, which is a perfect segue to mention, the issue about the Boys and Girls Club. The Boys and Girls Club, this is going on 4 or 5 years. I remember the first meeting that the Boys and Girls Club presented at. I think it was a subcommittee meeting. And I was on my way to the meeting, and I had it on in the car. I'm listening to it, and I'm going, "Oh my God, I got to get there. This sounds fantastic." I wanted to get there before the end of the presentation. I think I did, probably about 2 minutes left. I caught the last 2 minutes of their presentation live. And then when the representatives from the Boys and Girls Club went to leave, I chased them into the hallway. I said, "This sounds fantastic." I said, "What's the time frame?" And they said, "Well, as long as everything goes well here, not that long." And here we are 4 years later, and that building's not there. And that building could be serving hundreds of teenagers a day. And a lot of I was at the Boys and Girls Club. They had an open house a couple weeks ago. I was there, and man, I tell you, you go in there, the smiles, the laughter, the children there are getting so much. They get their education in school, and then they're getting a whole other education after school. They had setups, the little different stories. One girl had a report on 9/11, history, different countries, cultures. It's so important. It's so important to encourage all our students, but especially the ones that might need that extra. We really can. It's part of our duty. I know we're supposed to, create and watch over the budget, watch over the superintendent.
There's other side,
but
too.
It's that policy, and I'll bring it back again to that deficit. We hit rock bottom. Brockton, and still right now, this moment, we have a chance to build something pretty much from the ground up.
Yes.
We have to make sure those foundations, the foundations of every program, every policy are rock solid, because we can just keep adding stuff. And once you get too high, if the foundation isn't solid, the whole thing's going to come down again. And we can't let that happen.
Thank you, man.
We can't.
Thank you. I was a member of the Boys and Girls Club when I was growing up in high school, elementary school, middle school. It was a safe haven for after school. It was a place to go, something to do, stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Now, Maria, it's your turn now.
My turn. Strategic plan. Okay. So when I asked what was our strategic plan, nobody had an answer for me. I was told that the superintendent was still working on it. And I found that kind of odd, because it's an input of everyone, not just the board. You hear from parents, you hear from the community, where the community it defines a district's priorities, goals, and actions over several years. Yeah, right. So they didn't have one. They told me that because the superintendent was new. Excuse me, the superintendent was new, that she hadn't developed one yet. So nobody actually knew. So we have this strategic plan, and then what happens is you have to make sure you align that budget to support that, right? For example, if it's literacy, that way you're not spending money everywhere on everything and getting no results, right? So by setting goals and guardrails along with that, I think that when we get elected, I'm going to propose that the board, that we get training on student outcome, strategic plans, goals, and guardrails. Because like Matt said, we have to build a foundation. So the foundation will start, I believe, with us, in order that we can see, so we can help others also, because if you go in and you don't know exactly what to do, and you want training on the board by someone who specializes or is an expert in this, that's been doing this for 40, 50 years, because I think that can help us as a board a lot. And we want parents to be involved. We want students to be involved. And take it from there, because I think once we do that and we make the student outcome the center of the board, which I believe 50% of the meetings we have are supposed to be student centered, not adult centered, not involved in other things, even though other things may be important, but majority of it should be student centered outcome. And it should be measurable, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So we have to use those things to make sure that this is working. Because if we just go all over the place, nothing gets done. So we have to have specifics.
Thank you, Maria. So today we have 2 candidates, same city, 2 separate wards, Ward 3, Ward 4. Matt Stanton, Maria Daveiga. Now, they all talked about similarities, synergy, working together in the school committee. When they win, because I have high hopes that they're going to win, they're going to turn the city around. And I think they have the aptitude, the ability, and the knowledge to do this job and make the school committee, the school systems, a better place. A better place for students to be in Brockton. We're going to close this out today. Thank you guys for showing up to this meeting. And I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds each to do a closing remark, actually 60 seconds each. Closing remarks, tell people, why they should vote for you once again and what else they need to know about you before we close this the show out. Go ahead, Matt.
All right, I'm probably pretty good at this. I'll stop my 30 seconds or 45 seconds in a second, but because I have knocked on thousands of doors here, and I don't know if the Ring cameras record video and the audio, but if I ring that bell and nobody answers and the light's still circling, I try to get it out as quick as possible. I say, hi, my name is Matthew Stanton. Actually, I have one of my cards right here, so why don't we do it that way? Just like I'm at a door, knock, 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 ring, whatever you want to do. Hi, my name is Matt Stanton. I am running for Ward 3 School Committee. I ran 2 years ago. I lost by 3 votes. I did not go anywhere. I attend every school committee, city council, finance committee meetings because we are one city and it's all intertwined. I am running again because I do see a division in the school committee. And every meeting that goes by with that division, our students are the ones missing out. We need to get the focus back where it belongs, on our students, through community, common sense, coming together, communication. Tuesday, November 4th is Election Day. My name is Matthew Stanton. My name will appear second on your ballot. I ask for your consideration, hopefully your support, your vote. Have a great day.
Thank you, Matt. So, Maria, you have 60 seconds. Let us know, why should they vote for you and what else they need to know about you before November 4th.
Okay. So I know that the board truly needs new leadership right now. We need new leadership that listens, that innovates, that isn't afraid to bring fresh perspectives to the table. I'm ready to be that new voice for you and to make sure our schools reflect the hopes and dreams of our entire community. So as we approach Election Day, I ask for your vote. Let's bring a new leadership that is dedicated to transparency, to equity, and to putting children's future first. On November 4th, I kindly ask for your vote for School Committee Ward 4. Together we can make a difference. I know I believe this with my heart, Hamilton, because I'm not in it for the money. You know, I am
There's
dedicated.
money?
There is.
Wow.
There is money.
Man.
I at first when I got into this, I didn't know. I thought it was something I was doing because I've always volunteered in my community.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know there's
But-
a stipend that you can
A
get to go to
stipend.
like breakfast or dinner.
Oh, yeah. But anyways,
that.
yeah, no. The day my brother graduated Bridgewater alumni, and he went to the aviation program. He is Lieutenant Paulo Vicente, 37-year in the Navy. When I saw him graduate and I saw that cap and gown, tears came to my eyes. How God had been so good to us that we came out of nothing. We were statistics. And he had the support of great teachers at Bridgewater State. I cried. I cried. You know what? I want the same tears for these parents. I want to see them cry of joy that their child made it. Your child succeeded because we cared to make them succeed. And that's my passion. That's my
Well,
passion.
Thank you all. This is Hamilton Rodriguez. We had Matt Stanton here and Maria Antonia Daveiga. Remember, November 4th, vote Ward 3. If you're in Ward 3 in Brockton, City of Brockton, Massachusetts, vote Matt Stanton. If you're in Ward 4, vote for Maria Antonia Daveiga, school committee members. They are here to help you and move this city forward. This is Hamilton Rodriguez, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode next Sunday. Talk to you soon. This is Hamilton Rodriguez from The Outsiders.
Thank you.
Thank you.